Welcome back to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I actually do these live calls on Instagram. I would love for you to come and hang out with me at them. So if you don't already follow me at Dawn Bradley, DAWNBRADLEY, should have made a song about that. Go follow me there because then you can take part in these live calls and can actually chat with me. But if you can't make them, no sweat. Now they're going to be here. So welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. Buckle up, friend, and let's dive in. I overthink, I overshare, and I overanalyze. So come explore with me as I chat about business, life, and relationships, all through the lens of an anxious creative.
Good morning and welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you about rebuilding your clientele. I know a lot of you are in new cities. You've maybe seen my reels about how I built and rebuilt my clientele on 3 different continents, 6 different times. I know how to build a clientele and I know how to do it quickly and I know how to do it well. And so I'm so excited, hi Sandra, to share this with you this morning. And first things first, before I get into it is I want to share with you guys that this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone. This is really important to me when going live and when building this community, is that we all feel safe and we all know that there's no judgment here. We're all in different parts of our journey in different places. So whether you're building your clientele from scratch, whether you're having to rebuild after years of being in the industry, maybe you just moved to a new location, a new city, you're coming back from maternity leave, maybe you're changing your service offerings, maybe you're wanting to get rid of some clients and build a different kind of clientele. Whatever the reason is that you're building a clientele, know that these things are going to help you. Last week I went live sharing about my care method, about how to start talking to strangers and inviting them in. I feel like the biggest thing for people is learning how to talk to strangers. And so I want to share a really quick story with you first. And as I share my story, I want you guys to just introduce yourself in the comments. Put your name, where you're tuning in from in the world. And I want you guys to get to know each other because community is a really important part of learning and growing and taking messy, immediate, imperfect action. Here's the thing. You can know what to do. You can analyze, you can learn, you can buy a new online course. But if you don't actually ever take action, you're not going to get results. And so I want to share with you guys, when I first started building a clientele, I was a brand new baby stylist. Hi, Cass. And I was so sick of sweeping floors, washing dishes, and being like, someone's bitch. And actually, my old coworker, Vanessa, who I don't know if you're on here right now, sometimes she pops in here, we used to joke about how we were going to get t-shirts that said like, Vanessa's bitch, my bitch. Because she was like one of the mentors in my salon that helped me learn a lot. But I was eager to get my hands in hair. I knew if I could start doing more clients, then I would be able to get better at my skill. And I wasn't able to I was like bottom of the totem pole in the salon that I worked at. I was getting the last of the walk-ins because the walk-ins went by seniority. And I was just sick of it, but I could take requests. And so I went, if I can get people to request to come see me, then I can get full. And so instead of, here's one of the biggest things I want you guys to take away from this live right now, instead of being upset at my boss for not promoting me, for the salon for not bringing me clients, for social media not actually working. I mean, social media didn't exist back then. There was no such thing as social media. So there was no thing for me to be complaining about or wasting time doing or convincing myself that I was doing something. What I decided was to take personal responsibility over my situation and where I wanted to go. I decided that it was within my hands to get the results I wanted. And that's how you have to want it bad enough in order to take messy, immediate, imperfect action. And you have to want it bad enough to take responsibility for the result. And so if you're not willing to take responsibility for the result you want to get, I'm so sorry, we're probably stop watching this right now because I'm not the right person for you. I'm not the right mentor. I'm not the right person. So I decided I wanted it bad enough that I was willing to make myself look like a fool. I was willing to mess up. I was willing to be embarrassed to get the ball rolling. And so I took one of the salon's cards and it was on this card stock. I didn't have my own cards yet because I wasn't busy enough. I think I started to get my own business cards. My boss would buy them for me once I hit commission. So I wrote in like blue pen, Dawn, and I kept them in my purse. And I remember being at the grocery store, and some of you have probably heard this story before. I remember being at the grocery store and being like, oh, that checkout clerk like totally has kind of hair. Like I feel weird, right? And I like felt so weird and uncomfortable. And I was like, but like, how bad do I want it? I'm like so sick of going, like, I was like considering quitting the industry because I'm like, this sucks. I went to school. I love doing hair. I love serving clients. But like being the like salon janitor basically really sucks. And I didn't want to do it, but I was like, how bad do I want to be able to do the thing that I love? And I was like, I want it bad enough that I'm willing to like do this thing that feels so freaking uncomfortable. And I want you to know that if you want to be more confident in building your clientele, confidence is born from courage and vulnerability. So there I am standing in the grocery store, and I muster up all the courage. Like, I am a small town, shy, anxious, awkward girl. I grew up in a small town in Saskatchewan, Canada. I think it was like a town of like 16,000 people. So like small, but smallish. I was super quiet, super shy, didn't believe that my dreams were worthy of achieving. I thought that it was, the things that I wanted in life were for someone more deserving than me. So there I am, 18 years old, like a year after moving out from home. I've gone to hair school, and I'm like, oh, so nervous. And I'm like, okay, but like, how bad do I want it? Because I could quit and try and find another job, but I'm going to have to get another job I'm going to have to get uncomfortable with. Developing skill, because I had the talent of doing hair and I developed the skills of doing hair, but hair school had not taught me how to get uncomfortable to build a clientele. So there I am in the grocery store, and I'm like shaking, and the girl's like, here, like, I pay for my groceries, and I'm like, I know this is kind of weird, but like, I'm a hairstylist, and like, you should come see me. And like, it all just like kind of blurted out of my mouth, and I was like, right? And she kind of gave me this weird look, and she's like, thanks. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like, you probably like, don't worry. Like, you don't have to come. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't even remember exactly. I mean, I was 18. I'm 41 now. So that's how many, is that 23 years ago? Holy crap, 23 years ago. So I don't know, but I can like pretty much guarantee you that's how it came out. Like, I was like, you should come get your hair done by me, but like, you don't have to, it's okay. Like, don't. And like, I backtracked because I was like, oh my gosh, she thinks I'm weird. She thinks I'm crazy. She thinks that came on too strong. Like, oh gosh, like, what are you doing, Dawn? And then I like kind of like awkwardly and stiffly like walked out of the grocery store being like, ugh. And guess what? She didn't come in. She never became my client. But what I did that day was magical, is I took the first action step. And so I realized, okay, that was terrible. That was embarrassing. If I see her at the checkout again next time, I'm going to the other lane. Like, I feel so awkward and embarrassed in myself. However, I learned, hey, I did it. And so what I want you guys to start with, those of you guys that are ready to build your clientele, is start with, how can I take messy, immediate, imperfect action today? How can I confidently take messy, immediate, imperfect action? And let's break down, what is confidence? Taking courageous and vulnerable steps. So how can I courageously and vulnerably take messy, immediate, imperfect action? And that's where it starts. Now, obviously within my client building bundle, I go more in depth and more tangible. With the work that I do with my Rock Your Business students, the people that I work one-on-one with, we go more in depth, and I go very deep with that kind of work. But honestly, if all you take from today is how can I confidently take messy, immediate, imperfect action, and when I say that, how can I courageously show up, vulnerably show up in messy, immediate, imperfect action, and continue to do so. I could have stopped there and been like, that was weird, that was uncomfortable, I just made a complete ass of myself, that lady probably thinks I'm weird. And like, I used to be so caught up in what I thought other people think of me. I used to be so worried about what everyone else was thinking about me that I was like, oh, okay, like, ugh. And then I had to get out of my own freaking way and go, how bad do I want it? Do I want to like have tried this career for 6 months to a year and then switch and then keep laterally switching careers every time it requires me to step up? Because stepping up is uncomfortable. Stepping up takes effort. And you can laterally move. I married a man in my 20s who had 5 jobs in 2.5 years. Now, no shame in that game, but he never was moving up. He was just moving laterally. He's like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm going to switch to this. And then like within 3 to 6 months, this isn't where I want to be. I'm going to switch to this, and kept switching and not gaining traction. And so I'm not saying you have to stay in the same thing. Like, my career has shifted and changed so many times over the last 23 years. But I've always been moving in an upward trajectory. So you ask yourself, am I switching laterally? Am I switching to the next thing that looks good? But it's going to require me to get uncomfortable, take courageous, vulnerable, messy, immediate, imperfect action. And am I going to jump ship when that comes? Because so often I see people leaving the industry or leaving their service-based business because they think, well, I want more security. I want more stability. Put a 1 in the chat if that's ever been you. I want more security and more stability. You crave financial stability, you crave security, you crave routine, and you feel like right now in this service-based industry that you're in, that my thought's exactly right now, that there isn't. When reality is you're unwilling, and I'm so sorry, this is tough love with Dawn, you're unwilling to take messy, immediate, imperfect action. Let me share with you guys. So fast forward 10 years, I go out on my own and I create routine and I have complete financial stability and security on my own. I created it because it took me getting uncomfortable, taking messy me to imperfect action, and being willing to be courageous and vulnerable, embarrass myself sometimes until things became routine. And then all of a sudden I had my books fully booked 3 months in advance. I knew what was coming. It was predictable income. I was able to increase income by selling more services, having upsells, having retail. I had stability and security. But so many people think stability and security lay outside of themselves if they get a job in something else that will create that. You can create it on your own terms, and then you're still in control. It's not either I'm self-employed and an entrepreneur and I don't have security and stability versus being an employee that creates stability and security. Being an employee, you can get let go at any time. I would venture to say being an employee is less stable and less secure. You think you have a steady paycheck, but you can get let go. Businesses will downsize at any time. If you learn to realize that you have control over your life, your future, and your finances, complete control, you just have to be willing to make the effort. And so many people don't want to make the effort because it's uncomfortable at first. But the more reps you get in, the more you practice, the more you'll create it and the more you'll get comfortable doing it and you'll realize that you have the control. And it's so funny because I know you're a control freak, and yet when it comes to your business, when it comes to your finances, you throw your hands up in the air and you're like, I don't have control. When really you have all the control in the world, you're just not willing to take it because it scares you a little bit and it's kind of uncomfortable. Why are you so scared of getting uncomfortable? What are you really scared of? Are you scared of what other people's thoughts and opinions are? Are you scared because this whole social media glitz and glam thing makes people look like they have their shit together when really nobody knows what they're doing? The people that are getting the most results are the people who are willing to be seen failing. So stop being scared of what everybody else is thinking about you. What you fear them thinking is a reflection of what you think about yourself and others. So if you're fearing other people judging you, it means you're probably a judgy bitch yourself. And I hate to say that, but I say that because I've lived it and that used to be me. The moment I started having more compassion, like for example, on a live once, someone popped in who had never come to one of my lives before. Now, if you guys have been here for a minute, you know that I go live with Bedhead. I mean, I don't have lashes on, and I was like, ooh, I kind of would prefer to have lashes on. I definitely have a filter on because, you know, your girl's 41 and she's got some age spots going on. I don't have makeup on yet this morning. But someone popped into my live once and was like, why would I listen to you? Your hair's a mess. And it didn't bother me because I could give a shit if my hair's a mess. I've come to terms, I am very secure in myself and who I am and my hot messness. But there was a day where I was super judgy. I used to be super self-righteous and judgmental. And it's a hard thing to admit because I don't like looking back on that version of myself. But I kept myself to an unattainable standard because the way I judged other people. And the moment that I became more compassionate towards other people and started going, wow, look at them. That's kind of embarrassing. Good for them for doing that. Good for them to be, you know what? They didn't delete their story. And that's kind of embarrassing. I remember one of my biggest Instagram story flubs was I was like talking, it was like when stories first came out and I was talking like this and I did this and one of my hair extensions just came out and I like died and I kept it because one, do we not relate to real life shit? We don't relate to perfection. And yet you're holding yourself to an unattainable standard. You're holding yourself to a standard that you can't even meet. Therefore, it's like your way of self-sabotaging yourself from getting the results you want. I'm a hot mess express that have made good money as a hairstylist. I used to rock up to work. I was never the like all done up, pretty, perfect hairstylist. And I was told in hair school that now that you're a hairstylist, you can never go out in public without makeup or sweatpants. You can never wear sweatpants in public and you can never go out in public without makeup on. And I remember being like, oh my God, that doesn't sound good because your girl's a comfort creature, right? Thank you, Samantha. And so whatever it is that's getting in your way, and like I said, there was a day and a time where I wouldn't have showed up. I remember when I first went live on Facebook, I like did my makeup, I did my hair. This is in like 2017. And I had sweat running down my back and I was like, oh, right? Like, what if nobody, what if, you know what, it's not even what if nobody, what if one person shows up? That was my fear. Because that one person will see me struggling. That one person will know, they'll see the number up here and they'll know that only one person's watching and they'll know, and then they're going to feel, will they feel obligated to stay? Will they feel like they can't leave because it's one person? And then just the spider web. And so if you catch yourself doing that, whether it's building your clientele, whether it's getting the new job, whether it's going out on your own, whatever that step is for you, I see people do it all the time with my Rock Your Business program. They know what to do, they won't take action. So ask yourself today, what's the thing that you're not taking action on? you want a clientele, you want a full clientele. Maybe you're embarrassed to say that you have openings because you've been in the industry for a minute and you're like, if people know I have openings, then they'll think I'm incompetent. And you're attributing how many openings you have with the level of skill and talent you have. How fully booked you are has nothing to do with how much skill and talent you have. These are not related. Also, let me share a quick example. There's a difference between being like, oh, I have some openings and maybe you want to book in, as opposed to, oh my gosh, you're so lucky today because this never happens, but I have an opening, and if you're looking to get your hair done or you're looking for X service, you can get in today. Or this week seems to have cleared up. A lot of people are on vacation, and I'm so excited to be able to announce that I have some openings last minute that normally don't happen, and so you're so lucky. Stop trying to communicate it from the place of insecurity. Your clients are lucky. Your new clients, oh my gosh, normally people can't book in this quickly, but right now is the perfect time if you've been looking to get a last minute appointment because I have availability. Flip the switch. Get excited. Your energy is transferable. If you put the energy of like, yeah, I have some openings. Oh my gosh, it's kind of embarrassing because I've been doing this job for 15 years and like you'd think that I was fully booked, but like I'm not. When I moved to Calgary, I knew no one here. So there was no shame in my game. And you know what? I started seeding it before I even moved here. I started hashtagging YYC ladies. I started liking local places, being like, get ready, Calgary. Dawn's coming to town and you're going to be able to get your hair done with me. Like 3 months before I even moved here. So by the time I got here, I already had people wanting to see me. Stop waiting for the thing to happen for you to then take action. What can you do today? Even if you can't get the results today, what can you do today to start seeding where the clientele you want to build? You know, I'm going to be taking this extension class in 2 months. It's the best. And start talking about it now. Start building the excitement and the anticipation. And if you're excited about it, other people will be excited about it. Hey, I'm coming back from mat leave in 3 months. Like, let's get going. Or, insert whatever situation. Hey, I've been reformatting my services and my experiences, which means there's going to be more availability for you, which means you're going to be able to get in more quicker. And make it the excitement for your clients. So I just want to open up Q&A for you guys right now. If you have any questions, there is a question box down here that you can tap on and put your question in. That way I can keep it along the bottom. If you have any questions for me about clientele building, business building, charging confidently, I want to share that with you guys right now. But if you are interested in going deeper and getting quicker results, so quick, fast results, and you're willing to do the work, I want to chat with you because I just had this feeling this morning that I want to do a 3-part live series on building and rebuilding your clientele live with people. So you might have my client building bundle already, and I'm wanting to go more in depth for people who are rebuilding or building, who are ready to take messy, immediate, imperfect action, who are ready to take personal responsibility over their results, not just be addicted to learning and allergic to implementing. And if that sounds like something good to you, I want you to send me, I want you to just put a 1 in the chat right now, and I will shoot you a DM and we can chat about this possibility, because I want to put a small group together and do a 3-part live training series where you'll get the replays of how to actually take confident, messy, immediate, imperfect action. Sandra, yes. Hair by Umber, yes. Am I saying that right? Okay. And I'm going to try and screenshot all the people who put 1 so that I can make sure to DM you guys. I was going to say you DM me, but my DMs get weird and lost all the time. And so I think this might be the best way. And if you guys have any questions at all, please hit me up right now. I want to be able to help you. I feel really passionate about this. It's funny how building a clientele comes really second nature to me because I've done it 6 different times on 3 different continents. But when I take myself back to that beginning moment, when I take myself back to that moment where I was like, ooh, like handing out that first card, it was uncomfortable. Now it's not uncomfortable because I've got my reps in, because I've got the skill built up, the muscle built up, the strength built up I have the strength to carry more right now. But when you don't have any strength, when you haven't exercised that muscle, it's scary and it's uncomfortable. It's like going and lifting weights for the first time. You can't just go heavy. And if you haven't done it in a really long time, if you did it at one point 10 years ago, but you haven't done it lately, that muscle's going to have gone in, you're going to have lost it. And so I want to help you regain it. So those of you guys that put 1. Now, if you're watching the replay, please just DM me and let me know you're interested. But this topic, I think, is really important because it's not just about building your clientele and knowing what to do. It's about taking personal responsibility over your results, wanting it bad enough that you're willing to continue to show up and try again. And I know that if I can do it, I'm from a small town. I was shy, anxious, awkward girl that didn't think I was allowed to amount to much. If I can do it, you got no excuses. All right? So until next time, stay weird, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for tuning into Business Breakfast and Bedhead. Like I said, I would love for you to join me live on these over on Instagram. So once again, just look up Dawn Bradley and let's connect. Shoot me a DM, send me a screenshot, tag me in your stories of listening to this or what you took away from this. Those comments, that feedback really makes my day and helps me know that these things are landing and that you want to hear more. I do these lives and I do this podcast for you to help you, and your feedback means the world to me. And if you enjoyed this episode, help me spread the love. Share it with a friend, a coworker, family member, or leave a review. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Until then, friend, stay weird.